Hello, I'm here today for FBB TV interviewing football journalist Leon Mann. How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you, Rashad?
I'm good. Before you became a journalist, did you ever want to be a footballer?
Yes, absolutely. It was my dream. I think it's the dream of a lot of young people. And just wasn't meant to be. So I had to have a plan B, which was working hard at school to go on and do something else. And I've been very fortunate that I've been able to work in football.
How did you become a journalist?
I went to school, did my A-levels, went to university, didn't know what I wanted to do, then volunteered for a charity called Kick Racism Out of Football. Worked there for 6 years doing their media work, so learnt a lot about the sports media. And then applied for a job at the BBC, pretty much at the bottom of the run, and then was able to work up and then fortunately get into a position where I could interview some of the biggest names in football.
Out of all those professional footballers, who was the most interesting?
I think it's probably a guy who played for Cameroon, played at Spurs, called Assou-Ekotto. He was interested in what happened when there were the Tottenham riots a few years ago, so we went for a walk around to look at the damage in the local community. He does a lot of work in the community that's not really talked about, so I found him very interesting. I went to New York with Assou-Ekotto. Ashley never does interviews, so I was in a very privileged position to speak to him about football, but also off the field things as well. So I've done lots of different kinds of interviews, and not just football. Usain Bolt, someone who I've interviewed a lot. Michael Jordan, who's an iconic sports person. I mean, the list goes on and on. I've had a real privileged career today, and I hope I can continue to do more big interviews, but interesting interviews. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
What advice would you give to people like me who want to be journalists?
Get doing it as much as possible. So doing this now is fantastic because what you're getting is experience of being in front of the camera, experience of asking questions, experience of what you're very good at is listening to an answer and asking the best question I think in the world, which is why. And be yourself. Don't try and be an imitation of somebody else. You are Rashad, and the way that you do things will be unique and special.
In football, if there was one thing you would change, what would it be?
If I could change anything in football, I would make it truly equal. So young people, regardless of their background, will have the same opportunities, support and encouragement to go and achieve, be it as a footballer, a sports person or as a journalist, or anybody involved in sport. I'm looking at some of these academies at the moment and I'm seeing some incredibly talented young people. And I think that's come about through football becoming more diverse, because a lot of those fantastic players coming through are coming from diverse backgrounds. Football can do great things. Football can break down barriers. Football's been fantastic in my life, and I'm just looking forward to just working in it even more and making it more open so people can get involved and not feel that there's only so far that they can be involved in football. And I think it's possible, and it's incredibly heartening to see people like yourself doing your thing, having an aspiration to go on to work in football, potentially as a journalist. I think that's only good news for our industry.
Thank you for being part of this interview. I've been interviewing Leon Mann for FBB TV.